Hey everybody, I'm back for part 2 of Mr. Sparkles. It's me, Aggie, with Artist Art Studio and Agnes Friedlander Art Studio. So I calculated 13 ounces, but I'm going to make 12 ounces. I like that because it's a nice even number. It's easier to mix, and usually I have too much resin from their calculations. So putting on 2 pairs of nitrile gloves. I just found that to be very helpful. I can pull this top pair off if it gets covered in stuff, and resin, which it inevitably will. So I got 2 pairs of gloves on, and I'm gonna grab my resin. I figured I'd just show you guys everything that I do. A lot of times I'll just come on live after I've already mixed my resin. So these are new. I usually label these. This is my KS resin liquid ultra UV epoxy. I like this stuff. Not letting me turn the camera. Here we go. And usually I mark it. I'm going to do that now. Let me grab a I like to mark the lid. Usually the resin lid is white. You get a Sharpie. Because you don't ever want to mix up your lids. So for the resin, I'm going to put an R on the lid. R for resin. The white lid is resin. If I were to put the white lid on the hardener, it would bond to it and I wouldn't be able to get it off. Okay, so then for the hardener, I need white. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to pour my resin. Let's see, how do I want to do this so that you can see what I'm doing? I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to use this as my mixing cup. And since I'm doing 12 ounces of resin, I'm going to pour exactly 6 ounces in here. So I have a little stool here. I'm going to be right at eye level with this cup so that I can look right at it. And when I pour the resin, I'm going to be careful not to get it on the sides of the cup. So I need this to be 6 ounces. I'm going to mix 12 ounces. So you want to measure very carefully. Okay, I need 6, 4. 6 is that line. I had to double check myself which line is the 6. And keep in mind when you do this that, well, first of all, I'm in a colder temperature, so it's a little thicker. As it spreads out, it's going to make the line go up. So pour a little less than you think because it kind of just spreads out more and the line always goes up. So right now it's under the red tick line for 6 ounces. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer and see if it, yeah, it actually is going up. It's like right at the line, so that's perfect. Okay, so that's my resiner, and I usually wipe this off. There's a little drip here. Let me wipe that off. Now I'm going to pour the hardener into the resin. I always put the lid on right away, put the lid back on. Here is my hardener. Get yourself down at eye level. 6. So now I'm going to go up to the 12. And again, I'm going to pour it carefully, being careful not to touch the sides of my cup. What happens if you touch the side of your cup, it's going to cling to that and throw off your measurement. So you have to, if you do accidentally pour it on the side of the cup, you have to let it drain down completely. That's how people make mistakes. Okay, so I'm close to the line, so I'm going to stop pouring. Again, it's cold here, it's a little thicker. As it kind of settles down in, it spreads out and the line goes up. And actually that's perfect. So I'm very, very careful. Now this has a little bit of resin on it, but from wiping the resin container, but I made sure I didn't get it right on the rim. I just don't want that to mix right on here. So, okay, put the lid back on right away. Put these back. Now I'm gonna do a hot bath because, well, let's feel how it, let's see how it looks. Who have I got here? Oh, I got a few of you here. Cheryl, Sandy, hey. So I want to get a feel for how thick this is, and I have a feeling it's going to be way too thick. So let's take a look. Oh God, yeah, it's really thick. So I'm going to start a hot bath, and what I like to do is, I could show you my sink. What I like to do is use this is crooked, this container. Oh, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I got this from Dollar Tree also, and I'm going to fill this with hot water, just hot tap water. And I'm going to put this in this. Now you want to make sure you don't get water in your resin, because it won't ever cure, it won't harden. So you got to be really careful of that. So I like to rest the cup handle of that in the cup handle of this so it doesn't accidentally tip over. And make sure you don't drip any water into your resin that you've mixed. So the hot bath is going to make my resin a little bit thinner and easier to work with. And I'm only pouring this one project, so it's okay that I'm mixing my resin now. It'll have a chance to sit a few minutes, which is kind of good, while we figure out what glass I'm going to use. All right, so I'm going to put this right here. Right? Hey Vicki, hey Ray. Okay, let's point the camera back down so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure my hands aren't dripping with any water. Grab a paper towel just in case. I mean, I don't even want to touch my resin cup if I might have water dripping off my hands, right? You got to be extra careful. So I'm going to just go ahead and place this in the water bath. Right in there. And it's going to need a few minutes, but it'll warm that up. Now the other way to do this would be to put your containers of resin with the lids on in maybe a dishpan filled with hot water. That would be another way to do it, but I don't really like that idea. This is just me. I've never read that it's wrong. I just don't like the idea of warming up all of the resin that I have, you know, my whole half gallons of resin, if I'm not going to use them right then and there. I only warm up what I'm going to use, I guess is what I'm saying. That's just me though. So now I need to stir this for 4 minutes. Art Resin says 3 minutes, but KS Resin wants 4. So it's exactly 4:03 right now. And I'm just going to gently, and I can feel it loosening up a little bit. It's just a little bit thinner now. Okay, so then meanwhile, of course you want to stir gently. You don't want to whip air into it. It's very easy to get too much air in here. And you want to scrape the sides every now and then. I've noticed that scraping the sides makes me get more air in there. But you do need to scrape the sides. And yeah, that's it. So now for the glass, what I did, let me bring this whole thing over here to the other side. Turn the camera around. So here he is, and I did go ahead and put a little bit of glass out on the board, on the panel. Maybe I'll lift this up a little bit if I can. Oh, sorry, I gotta put you on the floor to lift it. Sorry. Okay. All right, so got a pretty good view. And continue mixing this. So I'm using the vase filler from Michaels, I think, for this. What do you think? What I usually do is just dump it out and kind of pick through the pieces. If they're too big or clumped together, I don't want to use those on a thin area like this. So I just kind of pick and choose my pieces to go in there. And then here's the pink, the large, you know, rose gold glass. What do you think? Does that look good on there? Put a bunch. You just pour a bunch on there, and some of these pieces are just huge. I just don't want those. I tend to like the smaller pieces, and then what I'll do eventually is I'll use my nippers and cut up all the really big pieces that I don't like for something. So I'm gonna push these kind of to the that inside ear that we painted. And I don't know, on the other one, I didn't really like a ton of glass on there. It doesn't need a lot. I don't want to have it mounded up and have too much. And I'm not even sure I want to use this glass now that I'm looking at it. I might even just use the smaller glass. I don't know. Let me continue mixing a little bit. What do you guys think? I'm mixing over here on the side. It's looking pretty good. The other that I could use is this stuff. You know, do you guys think this would look better in there, smaller? I'm trying to see if there's any comments. I can't. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Shelly. If you guys are commenting, I'm not seeing them yet. So anyway, here's where I dumped out more of this stuff, and I haven't decided yet if I want to use the same blue on the bow tie or not. I don't know. I guess so. I mean, I do have this bigger stuff. It would be a slightly different color. And I also have black, big fiberglass chunks of black that I could use on the bow tie. Or I could use this small stuff, the small silvery stuff. So we'll figure it out. Oh, it's already been 4 minutes, more than 4 minutes. Okay. So cool. I'm gonna leave this sitting in the hot bath over here on the side while we figure this out. And we've got 40 minutes to use this resin. Okay, so, hey Pat, somebody tell me, what do you think? Here, you know what I'll do? I'll put, sorry about that. So what do you think? The small looks better, doesn't it? Any opinions? I think the small looks better. We're going with the small. Okay, and then for the glasses, what do you think? You guys are probably commenting and it's just not coming through for some reason. And of course, anytime you put glass down like that, you're probably going to leave a little debris. So you want to make sure you sweep that off of there. You know, you could use a paintbrush. I always forget to do this. I'm so impulsive that I forget to do that. I'm going to have to make some executive decisions here if I don't hear from you guys. So yeah, the reason why I don't put too much is I do want to see those wispy hairs that we painted in. I do like those. That still might be too much. Let's take half of it away. Yeah, it just kind of looks better if there's not too much. Usually it looks better to have more glass, but I think in this instance we want to see those little white lines we painted. All right, so let me get this off of here. It's so frustrating that your comments aren't coming through. I know Shelly must be commenting. Oh, and by the way, I taped the back with blue painter's tape, these seams, because the resin is going to pour down in between, you know. I mean, I could have waited and added this on top of the resin, but of course, you know me, impulsive. I was dying to see how this looked to make the decision on which pink glass we were using. Okay. I kind of like having them trail off a little bit off the ear, too. Okay, what about still no comments? Oh, all right, well, and you know, you could use glue to glue these down so that they don't move around on you. The way that I have them, some of them are kind of going outside of the line, but it looks fine. It's okay if that happens. and I tried to mound them up a little bit, which of course is going to be hard to do. So if you don't have a nice small piece that you need to fill in a spot with just the right size, just pour some more out for yourself. Like right here, I want to stack another one, and of course I couldn't because I got these gloves on. And this is a case where I'll use tweezers. And Shelly was the one that came up with the idea of these rubberized, rubber tip tweezers, and that helps a lot. And sometimes, yes, I will strategically turn so that the reflective side is up. I have been known to do that. I can be a little bit crazy, yes. But yeah, look from the side to see if there are parts where it needs to be another piece laid on top so that it doesn't look too thin in some areas. Of course, it's not always easy to stack one on top of the other. But anyway, okay, the glasses look pretty good, right? Bow tie. I don't know, I think the bow tie needs to be more of a focal point. Let's see what happens if we use the black fireglass. I've got black fireglass. I wonder how that would look. Any comments yet? No. I'm almost just sorting through and finding smallish pieces. Oh, I think I like the black better. I wish I could hear from you guys. Hey, Mary. What do you guys think? Is the black better? This one's too big. So I'm getting rid of the big pieces, putting smaller ones in. Getting ready to resin. Sometimes it's nice to have certain portions where you do meticulously turn it so that the reflective side is up. It can really make a big difference. I know some of you are looking at me thinking that I'm crazy that I spend this much time, but turn this one the other way. What I do is I stand back and see if I see enough reflection. Like there's no sparkle right in the middle of the bow tie. And I definitely do this on sunflowers, by the way. I will, you know, pick a couple of pieces to really turn so that the reflective side is up. Okay. I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? I wish I knew what you thought. Oh, here we got comments. I feel like I'm always turning the reflection down. I missed the beginning, but where did you find the pink for his ears? Oh, that's right here. This is vase filler from, it's Ashland vase filler from Michaels. So I was thinking of using the large pink fire glass, but I didn't like how it looked. I like the small better. So what do you guys think of the black bow tie? Now's the time to tell me if you don't think that looks good. Should I have tried the silver? Maybe silver would have looked better. Darn it. Let's see, do I have my silver? Where's my silver? I have silver fire glass, or I have the small. Where's my silver fire glass? Oh. Actually, I guess I'm out of silver fire glass. I'm not finding it. Huh. I didn't realize I was out of silver fire glass. I guess I used that for the snowman, for the, yeah. And the, all the Christmas stuff. You like the black? Okay. I think the ears would be so pretty in resin with the bigger Variet glass. Really? Did you see it with the bigger? I'll take it out and show you again one more time. Sorry. Wait, did I do it the wrong way? Oh my goodness. It's because I have gloves on. I still have the camera backwards. Oh, that's true. The resin does flatten the small glass. You're right. It didn't look like it was competing too much. I know, it's hard, right? It's hard to decide all this stuff. Well, I think I'm going to keep it since it's there. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, you liked the variation. Well, what if I did that? What if I put a little bit of the larger pieces in? Let's try that. Let's just try that, shall we? Oops. Add a few of the large. Yeah, that's exactly what great minds, man, I tell ya. Okay, We'll grab a few, and I appreciate you guys sharing your feedback here. So I know it's crooked. All right, are we there? Sorry. Sandy liked the bigger too. You guys. All right. I can put the bigger back on. Where did I put it? Here it is. All right. Let's see. Let's take some of this off and put some bigger in and see. Ooh, these little pieces are sticking in the crevasses. Oh my goodness. Wow, they're really sticking in there. But that's good. It'll keep it from the resin going in there, right? That's funny. I don't know if I like the two together. Some of these pieces are honking big. Add a bit and then just sprinkle the small over. Oh, maybe a few bigger in silver. I think the dark pink throws it off. Big platinum mixes with small pink. I think the dark pink will blend in so pretty once it's resined. Okay, well, I don't have a ton of time to debate it, so, oh, this is a weird piece. But yeah, I wasn't thinking about once it's resined, it does flatten out those little pieces a little bit. You're right. All right, let's get moving here. Yeah, if I had some platinum pieces, that would look really cool, having a few platinum pieces on the bow tie. Is that what you were saying? Lisa, were you saying that? These are too big. Oh, maybe I should put these big pieces down here. I think this is your piece and you do what your eye tells you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I do like mixing the small and the large, actually. Actually, the small looks good on this part of the ear with the large on the inside part of the ear, you know? Read your ears. Shit, I can't believe I just did that. Damn it. Whoops. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Am I driving anybody crazy yet? Okay. That looks pretty good. Are these two pieces too big? I can't believe I did this. Oh. That's one reason why it's good to glue stuff down, because inevitably that's gonna happen where you hit it all just right and then you knock into it. Oh, been there, done that, right, you guys? I always hear myself saying, take out wrenched ankle. You guys know what that is, right? Operation game. That's what I feel like I'm playing half the time. Ah. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. Whew. Got it back. That looks pretty cute. I don't think I like these two chunks here. They're too blocky, too noticeable or something. Okay, what do you think? Outer edge, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's rock and roll then. Okay, so the resin is really nice and loose and ready to go. It really does make a difference doing the hot bath. So what I want to do is get it out of the hot bath very carefully. I don't want to drip water anywhere. So I am going to take this whole thing over to this back table, and with a paper towel I'm going to wipe off, you know, the bottom of this resin container. I mean the mixing cup. and make sure I don't have any water that's going to drip. Because inevitably, you know, you hold the resin cup and it might drip water onto your artwork, which would be really bad because when you go to put resin on later, you're going to have a problem. Okay, sweeping off all the little bits of debris that have moved. All right, one more. All right, here we go. Oh, I got these at JCPenney. I wear size 11 shoes, so I have a very hard time finding shoes. I very often have shoe envy of all you ladies that can walk into a store and get any shoe you want. So JCPenney's happens to carry size 11 shoes, and I bought these a couple years ago. So I'm going to start on the glass where the glass is piled up. And of course the idea with this is you want to put enough to cover everything, but not too much to round over all the edges excessively, if that makes sense. When I first started, I actually would put too much resin on sometimes, and it kind of rounded over a little bit too much. Do you know what I'm talking about, you guys? Have you done that? And, you know, it just takes time to figure that out. It took me several projects to really, you know, kind of know how much resin to put. And, you know, I've watched, there's this Christine Coastal Treasures, Christine Fitzgerald, and she likes to mix extra resin. And then I've also watched Cindy Manley. She likes to mix very little resin, and she's a whiz with putting a small, you know, I don't even know how she does it. She mixes just a really small amount and manages to do a great job getting it, you know, evenly distributed and everything. I just feel like I need more resin than that. But, you know, I haven't been doing it anywhere near as long as she has. So anyway, so the areas that I just resined, the glasses and the bow tie, I'm going to let that spread out and just go to another area then, you know. And Elizabeth Rhodes, I've been in her classes, love her. I don't know how much resin she mixes, if she over mixes or under mixes. I couldn't tell you. She seems to always do just right though, you know. But I remember when I first saw her pouring resin, she was pouring right from this, I believe. And I don't have the wherewithal to do that because I feel like I would just be dumping too much. And of course I've read on art resin that you want to avoid dumping the resin. I'm not saying Elizabeth Rhodes did that. She didn't. She's very good at everything she does. But that's one of the things that art resin says is like one of the best practices things you can do is to not dump the resin. In other words, apply it like this, gradually, you know, drizzling it on like this. Yeah, I did use painter's tape to seal this whole thing. So what happens as we get closer to that 40-minute mark is this resin will get thicker. And the other day when I was pouring resin, I, really took my time, and it got so thick that it became a little bit difficult to deal with. So I don't want to scare anybody if you're new to it, but you do want to maybe try using this hot bath just to keep your resin, nice and loose like this a little while longer. It helps. And this is like a little pond in here. You don't want to put a ton of resin. The resin will fill this area in between the glasses. But I could tell that it needed a little help. I didn't have quite enough in there to fill the whole area. And of course, if you were to pour way too much in a enclosed space like that, you could get it back out of there by using a spatula and kind of redistribute the resin. Yeah, so this is going to be plenty of resin. I might even have too much. So KS Resin told me 13 ounces. And another thing to keep in mind, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but resin darkens everything. Oh, there's a little piece of glass that moved. I didn't see it before. So resin also is going to darken up your values, your paint colors a little bit. So that's another, I don't think I said that earlier. So try to paint on the lighter side when you're mixing those colors if you're going to add resin. So yeah, these cracks are going to fill up with the resin. That's okay. Fill this area in. And of course you could start spreading it too. And you don't have to use a coated mixing stick like this, but I do like, it is convenient. And then we also get those spatulas from Dollar Tree, or they also have them at Hobby Lobby now. To just kind of spread. It's just like a silicone spatula. There's a silicone tip to it. And I'm going to grab mine in a second. And I really think I like wood better than canvas for resin because it'll kind of cling to the edge. Whereas with canvas, you got to deal with those edges. I don't like taping. I'm really lazy. But you can put blue tape on the edges. It's funny, I have people on TikTok and Pinterest asking me stuff like that. How do you do with the edges, and stuff like that. Guess I'm dumping now. So now I can spread this with my spreader. I always save just a little bit, just in case. Save a little bit of resin. Let me get my spreader. And some of those little pieces of glass might want to float around and move around, so we're going to have to babysit them. I'm going to bring this resin right up to the edge. It's starting to thicken up on me. I can tell that with the colder weather, it's acting a little bit different than I'm used to. This resin, it almost feels like, I don't know, it feels really thick and like it wants to separate or something. It's a little tacky feeling almost. Feel a little bit like I'm fighting the clock here. And you know, what always goes through my mind is, wow, maybe I didn't mix enough resin. Every time that goes through my mind. Can you see how thick it is? Gosh. Oh, goodness me. Oh my goodness. I can give more information on the boards if you guys need it. I didn't know that would even be interesting to anybody. But yeah, it was a while ago that I bought that wood, so I don't remember what size it was. But if you calculate out what makes the most sense, whether it's, because this is, okay, so this is 24, this is 2 feet long. 2, 4, 6. So if you buy, well, they don't sell it in 6-foot lengths, do they? I don't remember. Oh gosh, please be enough. Yeah, it's really giving me a hard time up here. It's getting really thick. Yeah, maybe I should get the heat gun out, huh? I'm almost there. I'm so close. Yeah, maybe I should have used 13 ounces like they said. Oh my goodness, it's acting so weird. Yeah, it's real thick now. Oh Lord, help me. It'll act better as soon as I heat it up. Okay, got this end done. Whew. Well, it was just the right amount, actually. Whew. It's just not fun sweating it, you know? All right, get this all the way to the edge here. Okay, so now let's heat it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me wipe off my hands. Thanks, Linda. It actually was the perfect amount of resin. Oy. Okay. And these cords and stuff. Let's see a spot I missed. It's kind of slow to pop because it's so thick. Kind of weird. Yeah, the resin really, oh, I see a couple spots I missed. It acts different. Yeah. I may not have it quite warm enough here. Our heating bill was $300. My husband's complaining about it. It's never that high. It's been cold. So yeah, you just want to keep this moving. It really didn't liquefy the resin like it did the other day. That's funny. I think it's a little colder today. All right, I see just a few spots. I hope I can fill them in. And you know, sometimes when you go back to try and fill in, you could get a little pucker if you wait too long, which I may have waited a little too long. Not that I was waiting. So just drip it on there and it'll do the rest. Yeah, this feels like caramel right now. My goodness. not caramel, but you know what I mean, like it's very thick. Wow. All right, I think that's it. Oh my goodness. So then wherever you put, like that already flattened out. It didn't seem like it was going to, but it did. A big glob there, that'll flatten out. So you can do a little doming when it's this thick. That's the one good thing about it. So doming is where you just apply like a strand of it, which it's hard to get a strand, but you can apply like a strand right along the very edge and it'll make a really nice dome, rounded edge. I like to do that, you know, on the corners. I try to do it. It doesn't always work. Okay, so filled in all the little spots and wipe my hands off. Actually, what I'll do now, see now my hands are, I'm in a hurry. My hands are all covered in resin, so I'm gonna take the gloves off. Whoops. One pair to stay on, please. Take this pair off. And I've still got a clean pair of gloves. Yay! Yeah, this one's a little bit almost too illustrative looking with the outlines. I don't know that I love them. I like the deer one better. But it is a quick style to paint, you know. Just do those outlines. You didn't have to do all the stuff I did, but you could do those outlines and just paint even flat tones. All right. And of course, when you hit it with the heat gun, it might make it spill over the edge, in which case you could use a baby wipe to just wipe that off. And then just go around and look for any pieces of lint or anything that may have fallen into it. And that's it, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. These kind of drifted off a little bit, but I don't know that I mind them too much. If something moves too much, then just that's when you would use your tweezers to just kind of slide them back. Of course, I'm really pushing my luck here because this is all really setting up. But anyway, that's it, you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. You love him. Do I have a video of the smaller one I did on canvas? What do you mean, painting it? No, I don't. I painted this one today for you guys. And I did it pretty much the same way, Pat. It's just smaller. That's why I demonstrated this one. All right. All right, so that's it, you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.